All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and assemble the Dark Throne, also known as the Sith Throne, also known as Palpatine's throne from Episode 9. Now, some tools you'll need, most likely, for sure, is super glue, a little bit of a paper towel just in case you put too much, maybe a deburring tool, it's not necessary, some snippers and tweezers, and also a little bit of 150 grit sandpaper so we can expose the PETG, get past its surface, and it'll have better adhesion with the super glue. So first things first is we're going to go ahead and clean up the models, and whatever's already cleaned up I'm just going to leave in here. So this piece here looks already cleaned up. There's a piece down here that usually has a little bit of support, but it came off when I took it off the build plate. These two pieces also are ready to go. These three are also ready to go. This is ready to go. This needs a little bit of cleanup. So pretty much everything here is ready to go. We have this piece, so these are hinges, this piece, as long as these two bars, this bottom part, and these caps. So those are already ready to go. So we're just going to move them up here. And as a matter of fact, this chair piece also had some supports as well, but I took them off while we were taking it off the build plate. So that's ready to go as well. And these should be very simple to clean up. We're just taking this little thin sheet off of it. Yeah, it was simple as that. So these are ready to go now. This used to take so much time to clean up on my older machines, but look how this is so efficient now. So pretty much there's a few tree supports down here, a couple in the back, so I'm going to take those off. And I think for these I'm going to use the tweezers. That came off real easily. Okay, that did the trick. There's a little bit of the support base here. I think it's the raft, very thin raft. Okay, there's going to be more cleanup needed with that because of the stringing that happened from my print. So if this happens to yours, I'm also going to run through that so you can see how to take care of that. There shouldn't be anything in here, but if there is, let's give it a try. Yeah, it looks like there's a tiny bit. It looks like there's a tiny bit of support material in there. So I'm just going to stick these tweezers in there and try to pull it out. You can also use like a little screwdriver, but mine was so little that it's already clean. Now, with this deburring tool that I have, I'm just going to go ahead and lightly scrape the top so that this stuff comes off. If you don't have a deburring tool, that's totally fine. You can easily just use some snippers and just go ahead and like slowly cut those pieces off there. All right, so that's ready to go. And we just have this part here. Make sure we clean up all those little strings and bits that don't need to be there. I find that when I go in this direction with a deburring tool, for me it works better. I don't know why. But when I go the opposite way, I seem to dig into it, dig into whatever I'm deburring. Alright, and you can go as detailed as you want, but I think this is how far I'm going to take it. It's looking pretty good. I'm just going to go ahead and clean this mess up a little bit. Okay. Now comes for the assembly part. These parts I have marked out, and you can kind of see it from where you are, but I'll show you here. So for each part, you can see in the center there, I'll point it out with the tweezers, in the center there, and you could also see it in the center there. And for this one, there's like a bar, like a little notched bar here that's going to help guide you in which direction to install it in. So that little diamond that I have set there And that little diamond that I have set there, you can see it right next to my thumb. And then this raised notch in the front will guide you as to where to put it all. And I'll show you right now. So out of these 3 pieces, we have the 2 and the 2, just so you can differentiate. We're going to grab that. And the diamond part goes on the bottom. And it fits right into the back here. Like that. Okay, and this larger bar, the diamond here is here at the bottom. That faces forward on this part. So we put it like that. And lastly, we have this piece that has the notch, and the notch faces forward. So that notch is facing forward. So now that we know the orientation of all that, we're going to go ahead and use our sandpaper here to just create a rough surface for the glue to hold on to. So I'm just going to score the surface here a bit, score it on this side, score it on this side a bit. And it doesn't have to be too much, just so that sheen comes off of it. And I'm going to do the bottom just a little bit as well. Okay, I'm going to wipe off the excess here, and I'm going to do the same for the inside. I'm just going to score it up a bit on either side of the wall here, and the bottom, if you can reach it. Try to clean up some of that residue. Okay, and remember that the diamond goes up front. We're just going to grab some of that glue here, and I'm just going to pour just a tad bit on every side. And I'm using gel, super glue gel, so it doesn't run as easily, but yours might run if you're using super glue that's a little bit more liquidy. I'm actually going to put a little bit more on the bottom. There you have it. And we're just going to let that set. Okay. While that's setting, we're going to go ahead and glue these pieces. Remember, the notch goes up front, but I do want to score it a little bit. I'll just score the inside of this just a tad bit, just so it exposes some of that plastic. Okay. And likewise, I'm going to do the bottom here. I'm going to go ahead and spread some on the side, on the bottom. And making sure the notch is up front, which mine is. I'm going to just get this guy in. Okay, and while that's setting, we're going to do the back, this part. And remember, the diamond piece goes on the bottom. All right, just scoring the shiny sheen off of it. I'm going to put some on the side here, sides, and generously on the bottom. Then I'm just going to get that in there. Making sure the diamond is on the bottom again. All right, that's ready to go. Now we're going to do the same for this, the chair piece here actually. Let's grab the bottom part of the throne. I'm going to score the bottom here a little bit. For good measure, I'm just going to score around the notch hole. Okay. Now I'm going to want to put some glue on the bottom there, off on the sides, a little bit around, and we're just going to pop that right in. And you can make sure it's straight by lining up the step with the step of the seat, and you want to just hold it there for a second. All right, after you held it there, it should be pretty much good to go. We're going to grab this piece now. Next, after that, we're going to stick this in here, no glue needed. Although I do recommend kind of taking off some of the support material, because it can tend to be too thick and it'll be very hard to get in and may break the bottom as well. So you just want to be careful to scrape the bottom here where the support material was. Bottom being here, opposite side of these notches. And I'm just using my snippers here to do that. All right, once you feel comfortable, you can go ahead and just pop that into the notch. And it should go in real easily, no trouble whatsoever. Alright guys, once you have these pieces put together like this and the glue has dried, you want to grab your dowels and you want to make sure that you score them a bit on the sides and on the top, but I've already done mine, so that pretty much it's a very simple thing you got to do. Just sand it there and sand the top because you're going to be needing to glue that portion. So you grab the back, line it up with the bottom part here, and it goes right in very easily. And you just stick the dowel through. And then you just want to grab one of these caps, put a little bit of glue in there. Just a real small amount. And you're going to just pop it on to the end of the dowel there. And hold it until it dries as needed. Okay, now that that cap is on there, what we can do is put these support bars. Now there's a rough side from the PEI sheet and the smooth side. You could choose whichever side to expose. I'm going to put the rough side on the inside. And between the two dowels, you want to choose the longer one. And you want to stick the dowel in also through this support piece while it's being held in place. You want to line it up as best as you could. There you have it. There's one. And I'm going to do the same for the other, keeping the rough side on the inside. And there you have it. There's the other. Now we're going to grab another cap. Again, put a very little amount of glue in there. And we're going to stick it onto the end of that dowel. And hold it until it dries. And lastly, we got this small dowel. What I like to do is I like to put a little bit of glue next to the cap there that's already on there, so that when it reaches the end, it has a little bit of stickiness. Now we're going to stick that through the other end. And likewise, I like to put a little bit of glue on this end here so that these support bars stay in place. And then we can grab the cap and put a little bit more glue in there and put it on the end of that dowel. You want to hold it in place until it has a nice hold on it, until the super glue dries out. And there you have it, folks. Your Palpatine throne, Dark Throne, is ready to go. And you can grab your phone, which this is my makeshift phone. You could pop it right on there, tilt it back as needed. There you go. And it's a cool little desk piece. And again, you could just tilt it back if you need to. And it's a pretty awesome conversation piece. Alright guys, if you want to print this out yourselves and put it together, it's on MakerWorld. I put it in the link in the description below. You can download it for free, print it out, and enjoy this cool little piece here.